Good evening, everyone. So today we're going to complete the IELTS writing session in task 2. Last week we've taken task 1, and I'm really sad that no one of you has sent to me any applying of task 1. If you see the lesson, then you can write task 1. Task 1 is very easy. Now, as you know, in writing the IELTS, you have two tasks. Task 1 would be 150 words. You will have to write it in 20 minutes. While task 2, which is the one that we're going to take today, it will be in 250 words. You're going to write them, and you're going to write them in 40 minutes. So 20 minutes and 40 minutes, and that will make it 1 hour. So the writing in the IELTS will be 1 hour only with 2 tasks. Okay? Okay, so now let's see what is task 2 is about. Okay, if you don't understand anything, then you can stop me. Now let's see. Task 1 was about writing analysis of something. They will give you the information in any kind of, for example, charts or tables, anything, okay? And you're going to analyze this thing that you have, or the picture that you have, or the map, or anything. Just analyzing the thing that you have. But in task 2, no. You're going to write your opinion. Okay, so there is no right or wrong. Task 1, that's why task 1 is 20 minutes. It's shorter than task 2 because you have all the information, you have everything in front of you in this chart or in this table, and you're just going to analyze it and putting the numbers into words. This is why task 1 is shorter. While task 2, no. Task 2 is about giving your opinion. And there is no right or wrong when you give your opinion. Okay? The example was hard, ya Ragad? Okay. I will try to give you another one. Okay. Now let's see what you're going to write in task 2. First of all, you're going to write the introduction. As we said in task 1, you will have a question. You're going to rewrite the question again, but you're in your own words. What do we say? What do we call that? Paraphrasing. You know the meaning of paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is when you write something, but in your own words. You don't just copy the question. So they will give you a question. You're just going to rewrite it again with the same idea, of course, but you're going to write other words. You're going to use other words that mean the same thing. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing in task 2. So repeat the question in your own words. And in the essay introduction, you should start by repeating the question. This doesn't mean that you should copy the question. You should say the question again, but using different words, which means the same thing, synonyms. After you paraphrase the question, after you rewrite the question again in your own words, you're going to give your opinion. So this is the first paragraph, and the first paragraph usually 3 to 4 lines, or maybe less than that. يعني ممكن تكون 2 lines only. Paraphrasing the question, and then you're going to give your opinion in general, for example. Okay, so let's say that in task 2, the topic's usually about opinions, whether you agree or disagree with something, whether they ask you about the causes, the reasons of some of the problems and what are the solutions of these problems, or maybe advantages and disadvantages of them, of some of the ideas. This is what all task 2 is about. Okay, so there is no right or wrong. Okay, so after you paraphrase the question, you're going to give your opinion. So the examiner, do you know the meaning of examiner? What is the meaning of examiner, Sani? What is the meaning of examiner? exam, okay, and then examiner with ER. Who's the examiner, Thani? Do you know who's the examiner? المختبر, the one who will correct your paper, okay? So when you write your opinion after paraphrasing the question, this will make the examiner know what they are going to read or what they are going to face in your essay, okay? Okay, so this is step one. You're going to write the introduction. Very easy and very simple, okay? But of course, before you write the introduction, you should make up your mind. What is your opinion about the idea or the question that they are going to give you? Step two is you're going to support your opinion. Now, when you support your opinion, of course, you're going to write 4, 5, 6 lines. Now that you have given your opinion, you need to back it up. The best way to do this is to give examples. You can begin this paragraph with phrases like, personally, I believe that. From my point of view, I'm convinced that, in my opinion, in my view, in my point of view, I think. Anything that you can write that makes that this is your opinion. This is just the beginning. So you're going to give your opinion about this idea, anything, okay? طيب. Do you think that in IELTS, in the task and writing in the IELTS task 2, do you think that they are going to choose problems or things that's related to your country? Do you think that? Hassani, what do you think? Hassani, what do you think? Do you think that they are going to choose topics that's related to your country, that's related to your social background, or they are just going to choose anything? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, thank you, Judy. Okay, so what they are going to do is that they are going to give general, they will try to give general topics that's related to education, related to health, related to things that they think that most people in the world have opinion about. So these are the topics that they are going to choose, okay? So let's go back. Now you're going to support your opinion, starting with these phrases, and then you're going to give your reasons. Is there anything that is right or wrong in writing whatever you're going to write? No. You can choose any opinion. You can choose anything. The examiner, they don't care about your opinion. They will just care about the good grammar, the good choice of vocabulary, how you structure your sentences. This is what they care about. So don't just think that this is the opinion they like the most, or this is what they would like me to write about, or anything. No, they will just count the words, of course, and they will just see how is your writing, how good is your writing, okay? Now, step 3 is that you're going to give the other side of the argument. Now, when they give you or when they ask you about your opinion of anything, or when they ask you, do you agree or disagree? Now, you write that you agree, for example. This is the 3rd paragraph. Now, you're going to write the other side of the argument. Now, if people disagree with this thing, why they disagree, you're going to write about that. Even though it's not your opinion, you agree, but they don't agree. So you're just going to give their ideas. And that will make your writing a good essay. In your next paragraph, you should look at the question from the opposite point of view to yours. This shows the examiner that you have balance in your writing, and it is a sign of a good essay. You can start in this paragraph with phrases such as, it can also be argued that, and you're going to give the opinion. Someone who held the opposing view would say that, and also you're going to give the other opinion. However, there is also another side to this discussion. In contrast, some people hold the view that, and you're going to complete. Easy, right? Okay. Last thing, which is step 4, is your conclusion. It shouldn't be more than 4 lines. It's not about lines, but in this paragraph, you're not going to write many things like paragraph 2 and 3. No, you're just going to summarize your opinion. To finish off your IELTS Task-2 essay, you need to summarize your whole argument as a conclusion. Essentially, this means that you give your opinion again that you stated in the introduction. To prove to the IELTS examiner that you have a good command of English vocabulary, you should try again to use synonyms and not just copy your previous sentence. Remember the sentence in the introduction when you paraphrase the question and then you give your opinion? Don't write your opinion again or write the same thing that you have written in the first paragraph. It's like, so easily, paragraph number 4, it's like paragraph number 1, but with other words. Paraphrasing again, okay? Not just copying. Now you can add your expanded arguments from step 2 into your opinion. Easy, Sani? What do you think? Sani, what do you think? Ragad, are you with me?
Teacher بيقطع ما سمعتك.
حتى صوتك عندي يقطع، لماذا؟
هم؟
حتى صوتك أيضا يقطع.
ما أعرف.
Okay. Ragad, can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Taneem, can you hear me? Taneem, can you hear me? Okay, very good. Now, I need you to see this example. If you have anything, any question, you can write it here and I'm going to see it. Now here we have an example. Studying the English language in an English-speaking country, like the United States or the United Kingdom, is the best, but not the only way to learn English, to learn the language, sorry. So this is what? This is the argument sentence. As we can say in the debate when we have it in school, نص القضية. Okay? So, do you agree or disagree with this statement? You should write at least 250 words. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Okay, so what do you think, Tani? First of all, let's discuss that. Do you agree or disagree that learning English should be only in an English-speaking country? So it means that you should go to the United States or United Kingdom. You agree, Ragad? So that means that you cannot learn a good English. Also, Judy, you cannot learn a good English unless you travel there? That doesn't make sense. We don't live in 1995. We live in 2020. So that means that you can learn from your computer. You can learn from any other way. What do you think? Okay. Okay, now let's see. Well, of course, Rudy, but still, it's not. Sometimes you will meet people, sometimes you're going to meet them, and when you ask them, where did you study outside? And they will tell you, no. We didn't study outside. We just study there, here, by ourselves. Yes, of course, you're going to practice more. But, you know, the best, or let's say, the best thing to practice is with yourself, and you can speak also with yourself. Now let's see how you're going to write this thing in a whole essay and in 250 words. Now the question was, do you agree or disagree with this statement? In task 2, ya Thani, it's not only about agreeing or disagreeing. It could be also about the causes or effects. It could be advantages and disadvantages. Now let's see. Here, paragraph number 1, he is going to paraphrase the question or the statement of the question again in other words. Studying a language in a country where it is widely spoken, so he means that in an English country, English-speaking country, has many advantages. It is, therefore, a good idea to study English in a country such as Britain. However, I believe it's not the only way to learn the language. So can you see? He ended the first paragraph, which is the introduction, with his opinion. I believe it's not the only way to learn the language. So now, before we read, we know that he's going to talk about the other ways that you could do to learn the language. Okay? So paraphrasing and then your opinion. But until here? Now, in the second paragraph, in the first place, most students in non-English speaking countries like Saudi Arabia learn English at secondary school and sometimes at university nowadays. Although their spoken English is not usually of a very high standard, their knowledge of grammar is often quite advanced. This is certainly useful when students come to an English-speaking country to perfect the language. Right? We only care about speaking. He's saying that we only care about speaking, but we, in grammar, we're very good. We learn grammar more than we learn speaking. So this is what it's all about. Okay? So this is one of his reasons. The secondly, studying the basics of English secondary school is less stressful than learning the language while overseas. Okay? This is because students living at home do not have to worry about problems such as finding accommodations, paying for their study and living costs, and trying to survive in a foreign country where day-to-day living causes much stress. So he's saying that someone could study in a comfortable area or in comfortable way when they study in their home, country, rather than just traveling outside, stressing about how to pay for this and that and how to survive in those countries. And then they forgot about learning in a good way. Okay? Now, in paragraph 3, however, there are obvious advantages of learning English in Britain or any other English-speaking country. So when he said however, it means that now he's going to present the other point of view. Okay? Are you with me, Thani? You can stop me if you don't understand anything.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, good. Thank you, Rudy. So, however, there are obvious advantages of learning English in Britain. Every day there are opportunities to practice opportunities. What is the meaning of opportunities? What is the meaning of opportunities? Yes, thank you, Ragad. To practice listening to and speaking with British people. Okay. Also, students can experience the culture firsthand, which is a great help when trying to understand the language. When you understand their culture, of course, you're going to understand the language, and it's easier for you to understand the language. Why? What is the relating thing? What is contrasting between these things. Why, when I learn the culture, it's going to make it easy for me to learn the language? جودي الصوت يقطع عندك؟
لا يقطع. الآن واضح؟ الآن واضح؟ Okay, very good. So my question is, why he said that here, as you can see, he said that students can experience the culture firsthand, which is a great help when trying to understand the language. Why it's very good for you to understand the culture to understand the language? What is the relationship between these two things? Do you know? Okay, so if you know the idioms, when you know the culture of those people that you're trying to know their language and learn it, it would make it easier for you to understand the idioms when you learn them, okay? So if I know their culture, I would understand when they say it's raining cats and dogs. This is an idiom, and what does it mean? It means that it's raining very much, okay? So why do they use cats and dogs? Because it's in their culture, okay? In the United States, in the United Kingdom, they always have cats and dogs as pets. Okay, now let's complete. Now, this is especially true if they choose to live with a British family as exchange students, for example. Furthermore, if students attend a language school full-time, the teachers will be native speakers. In this case, not only will students' speaking and listening skills improve, but attention can be given to developing reading and writing skills as well. Okay, now in this paragraph, he just gives what? The other opinion. The first one and the second one, it's about his opinion about other ways to learn the language rather than just travel to the United States or United Kingdom. Now in paragraph 3, no, he's going to give the other side of the case, which is when you learn in their country, what are the advantages? The last thing is the paragraph, the conclusion paragraph, which is what? In general, even though it is preferable to study English in an English-speaking country, a reasonable level of English can be achieved in one's own country if a student is gifted and dedicated to study. This is the idea, Thani, I'm trying to give it to you. If you are dedicated to study the language very good, you will be very good and advanced, and your level will be advanced in the language. But if you just wait for others to teach you and wait for the good opportunity to come to you, you will realize that you are 30 and your English level as when you are in second grade in the secondary school. Okay? So it's about you and your passion in learning English or any other languages. Okay, so would you like to have this as a homework? Do you like this statement, or do you like this question to have it as a homework, or do you want me to change it? Hathani, what do you think? Please know what?
You don't want this homework? I will give you a week. I'm not going to tell you that you have to submit it tomorrow. But do you like this? Yes, I said homework. Do you like this question to have it as a homework? هذا غد رنيم. I need to hear your opinion.
Now, can you hear me? I'm saying that this is going to be a homework for you, okay? And you're going to submit it in a week, not tomorrow. You have a week. So, do you like the question? Do you think that you can write more when I give you this question, or do you want to change it? You want me to change it? Here, this is the question, Ragad. In Saudi Arabia, the students study English for more than 9 years, but they don't speak good English. So, what are the causes of this problem, and how can we solve this problem?